this is the video for how we're going to create our scans. So the plan is I'm going to get scanned like I'm sitting at my desk, and Abby's going to get scanned like she's shooting a basketball at the free throw line. When I'm scanning myself like I'm sitting at my desk, I'm not going to scan the desk. I'm not going to scan the chair. The only reason the chair is here is so I have something to simulate me sitting. So I'm going to sit on this chair, but when we finalize our mesh, I'm going to cut the chair out and I'm going to insert a new chair. I'm going to go find a desk on CAD and I'm going to bring the desk in. So what I want to do is I'm going to get up on my stool here, very, very carefully. Okay, if I had somebody else here, I would be having them hold something up so I don't fall. I'm going to be careful, staying right in the middle. I'm going to face the camera. Now, I'm going to take my arms and cross them because I don't know where the top of the table is going to be. So if I stand here like this, sitting up nice and straight, with the chair facing the right direction, I feel a lot better about it. And I don't want to have my arms out here because, like we talked about, we don't want to have problems with things going in the wrong place. So I'm going to cross my arms. Abby's going to hit record, and then she's going to run under here and she's going to spin the table. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Abby's going to pop under the table and she's going to spin me going very slowly. Very good. That's a good pace right there, Ab. Try to stay that speed right there. Good job. Want to make sure that you don't wander, you don't move your legs, you don't move your arms. Make sure your eyes are pointing the same direction the whole time. Don't let your head drag. Coming out very good. Slow right here, Ab. Doing good, nice and slow. Slow right there. Very good. We're going to go around twice because we had trouble with my knees last time we did this. So keep going, Ab. Actually, I know we'll keep going. Same direction. Once we come back to face the camera, I like to go 35 to 40 degrees past. So keep going. I should say 30 to 40 degrees past. Hit stop. Go back the other way. Very good. Not too fast. Keep going. Keep going. Very good. Okay, Abby, run up and hit record. Or hit stop, I should say. Want to make sure you don't move during this time because it is still scanning. Did it stop it, Ab?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So now I can hop off and it's going to start making my mesh for me. So on the bottom it says synchronizing frames. It says synchronizing frames and it's starting to create my mesh. So we'll see how that came out. That came out much better. Obviously you guys didn't see that part, but the last time my legs were all messed up, this came out considerably better. Okay? So now we're going to go through here. We're going to go to Reconstruct. And we're going to skip that one. We're going to go to Process. When we go to Process, we're going to go to Remove Parts. And this is going to, when we run this, it'll take all of the parts that aren't super important and just delete them. Then we're going to hit Fill Holes, which should fill in all of my holes that are my objects that are not perfect right now. So we'll see it filled in all that. That's great. Not worried about my head because we're going to cut that off at some point. I'm not worried about the chair and all this because we're going to cut that out at some point. After that, and we've done all of that, you can see you can colorize it to look at and see how cool it would look. You know, it'll show you a little more realistically, but it's not going to, you're not going to 3D print yourself with the colors on. So it's putting the colors on. You can kind of see how that actually looks, whether you want to or not. Not that big a deal. But then we're going to go to Share. We're going to go to Save first to make sure that we don't lose our scan. So we're just going to hit Save. It's saving all changes. Then we're going to go to Export Model. We're going to export it as a .stl. We're going to leave everything else on here the same. And we're going to hit Export. Okay. Once you do, it's going to ask you to name it. I'm going to name it last name, so I'm going to name it duff.body.stl. So duff.body.stl. Hit save. I'm going to make sure this is on the desktop for me because I want to be able to find it. So hit save. It'll export all that, and that's your last thing you need to do. We're going to hit pause here. I'm going to come right back, and we're going to have Abby set up for her basketball pose, and we'll talk a little bit. Okay, so now we've got my model done, and we're going to start talking about Abby's. Abby's we're going to do a basketball pose where she's shooting a free throw. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to prepare, we're going to go to new, we're going to leave the size of the scene the same, and we're going to sit here and we're going to get ready to record. So now one of the more important things we want to talk about is, one, when you're doing stuff, you don't want stuff near your face. You don't want your hands near your face. And the reason is because you're going to have a big oversized head sitting here, right? So I don't need quite to see my hands or whatever. But we don't want, you have a big oversized hand sitting here. So if that bobblehead hits your hands, it won't bobble. So we want to make sure we keep our hands low, all right? Because if they're up in our face, then the bobblehead will actually hit the hands. We want to keep them low. Other thing we want to do is that when you're having your hands out in the air like this, you want to make sure they don't sink. So what we're going to do is we're going to put props under your hands to help you hold them up. So the first thing we're going to do is Abby's going to spread her feet just a little bit. Okay, good. Point your toes towards me. Turn your heels in. Good. And good. Okay, we're going to put this out here, and Abby's going to move her hand. Take the pinky off. Abby's going to move her hand to like there and just kind of split her fingers so that her hand doesn't drop. And it's important she doesn't let this thing wave. It's got to stay right in the same place the whole time. And this hand won't be as bad because she can tuck it into her elbow, and that'll help hold her hand up. Okay? So tuck your hand into your elbow. Other thing is she's got to squat a little bit. So we're going to put something under her butt so that she can kind of hold her weight up. So sit up a little bit. Okay, sit down. Okay, good. So she looks like she's ready to shoot a free throw. Let's turn it towards the screen. Hold tight up. Turn it so we can see a little bit. Okay? So now she looks like she's ready to shoot a free throw, and again, we'll cut these things out. We got to make sure this stays in that orientation, right? Don't let it come back. That's it, nice and flat. Keep your hand right there. Does that make sense? All right. You ready to go? All right. So I'm going to hit record, and I'm going to come over and I'm going to spin Abby. She's got to make sure she stays in that position the whole time. All right, Abby, here we go. Nice and slow. Don't move your hands. Okay, we're going to hit stop. Part of the reason we had Abby do this is because Abby's a girl. So I'm going to stop this, go back to new, and we'll talk about why this is important. Oh, sorry, it's still finishing up the last one. It won't let me stop until it's done. Prepare, new, start. Okay, so one of the problems the girls will have is now, okay, Abby, so once you sit up and relax, head right up, is she has a ponytail which is laying on her back. Now, we're only doing the body scan, so this isn't going to be part of that. So what we got to do is we got to get this hair out of her head somehow. So, look, she's my daughter, so I can move her hair any crazy way that I like, because it's not going to stay this way anyway. I have no idea what I'm doing, of course. We'll just do that. Nope, didn't stay. Does that work? All right, perfect. All right, so let's set her back up. It doesn't matter because we're not going to scan your face this time. We're just doing your body. So sit back down. Is that comfortable? Yeah. Okay. You got your hands in the right place. There. Down here. There. We're trying to keep the other fingers kind of out like that. Yeah. Your hair, if you're losing it. All right, is that better? Yeah. All right, so we're going to scan it real quick before her hair falls down. 3, 2, 1. All right. You ready now? Yeah. Try to hold that pose. Concentrate on your hands not moving. Good. Don't let your hands move. Good. Don't let your hands move. Your legs doing okay? Yeah. to, sorry, watertight. No, sorry. Remove parts, which will take everything that we don't want out of there. Okay. Well, see, look, it took the T-square out, it took the rod out. I'm going to go back to fill holes and hit run. And now, while the bottom side of her and her leg doesn't look great, we should be able to use Mesh Mixer to fix a lot of that up later. Obviously, we would prefer to have a better scan, but for now, this one will have to do. So we're going to go through and we're going to go to Share, and we're going to go to Save and Export Model, just like we did last time. When we come back next time, we're going to talk about how to scan your head. Okay, so we decided to scan Abby one more time. We forgot, this time we put a hat on her to help with the hair, and we put the T-square on her, but we didn't put the thing out in front because I think the leg was getting confused. So we're going to scan her again in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so she's just going to work really hard at not moving her arms. She's got her elbows tucked into her sides, and she is just trying to hold that pose as best as she can. Like I said, we put a hat on her this time to keep her hair out of her face. If you turn it too fast, it'll tell you to go back to the last pose, which is what we kind of keep getting there. So if there's any questions why that's going. Go nice and slow here. There's a lot going on. It's trying to find her hands. She really can't move her hands right now. You can see that right hand is not coming out great. Hopefully it finds it in a minute. Really good. See what I mean about fingers? You can see that her fingers aren't showing up. It's just going to be like a blunt object on the end of her hand. And what we'll do is we'll either add something later, or we'll just mush the basketball into her hands and you won't be able to see your fingers, which you can't see anyway. So. Amazing what happened. Holding up okay? You get tired? Try and drink good. What's getting tired? Your hands?
Yes.
Good.
This is not going.
Only other thing we're going to do, we'll keep holding them, is sometimes stay in your spot, don't move. You can also grab the connect and bring it forward, and you can try to clean up some of the problems. You move your hands a lot. So you see, that's a lot of the reason that we do that. We're going to hit stop here and hopefully it comes out all right. You're good. You're good. Let me just hit, Abby, just stand up straight. You can take the hat off, just don't move, don't hop off of it. So while it's synchronizing the frames, we'll help Abby off. So give me your hat, give me your T-square, give me your elbow, and take one big step off. One big step. Good. Great job.
I like it.
Okay, so we're waiting for that to show up. We'll see how this scan came out, hopefully a little bit better. And I think it is. I think it's better than the last one. We'll have some work to do on her hands, but other than that, the body came out considerably better. We'll go through the same process before where we go when we go remove parts, fill holes, and then we're going to share it same as we did when we did mine. We're going to go to Save, we're going to go to Export Model, and we should be good there. Have any questions, come on up and ask. Our next video will be showing where we do heads.